Imagine growing up in the murder capital of the world. But not only are you living in the most dangerous city worldwide, imagine growing up in the most dangerous neighborhood within this city. Now this is what life in Comuna 13 in Medellín was like for many children and their families for many decades. Due to the ongoing conflicts in Colombia's countryside in the 1980s, lots of families were forced to flee their home, and most of them illegally settled in the mountains of Comuna 13. Ever since, there hasn't been any peace for those children and their families until only a few years back.
So for today's video, we made our way to Comuna 13 ourselves to find out what life is really like here today. But in order to understand what dramatic changes Comuna 13 has really undergone in only about 8 years, we first have to understand what life was like here before and why there even always has been an ongoing war on the mountainside of Comuna 13 that resulted in the death of up to 7,000 people in Medellín every single year.
Over time, there have been several groups trying to take over control in the mountainside of Comuna 13. This is because the mountains are positioned in a very strategic location for weapon and drug trafficking, as there is a highway to Colombia's west coast and the Panama Canal right behind them. Those groups were the FARC and the ELN, two guerrilla movements, as well as the paramilitary and even some cartels. As none of those groups wanted to give up their valuable position, there has been a constant battle between them until the year 2002. This is where Operación Orion took place, where the military, in cooperation with Colombia's government as well as the police, raided Comuna 13 with armored cars, helicopters and more than 1,000 troops. It took them 4 days until all the guerrillas were captured. Unfortunately, several civilians, some of which were children, were also killed during this operation. But even after the operation took place, there was still no real peace in sight. It was only about 10 years later that the neighborhood was finally starting to see a change.
Today, we're also trying to find some people to talk to about the past and the future of Comuna 13. We just met a really nice lady on the escalators who introduced us to one of the most famous artists in Comuna 13, and we're about to visit his art gallery right now and ask him some questions. We know that it's a very sensitive topic for the people living here, especially because the horrific past was just a few years ago. So we're trying to be as polite as possible and not to ask too many personal questions.
Señor, ¿cómo fue la vida en Comuna 13 para usted antes del año 2002?
Bueno, en el 2002 y antes del 2002 hacía parte de mi niñez. Entonces lo veía con otro foco, otro enfoque, donde nosotros como niños no teníamos como mucho temor frente a lo que estaba pasando, debido a que todo el tiempo estábamos pensando en jugar, y desde pequeños nos ha tocado vivir todas estas costumbres. Entonces desde pequeño hemos visto a la persona uniformada, armada, hemos visto enfrentamientos, escuchado enfrentamientos. Entonces por eso aprendimos a vivir de esta manera. Entonces no teníamos como mucho temor frente a lo que estaba pasando, pero nuestra mamá, nuestra familia sí tenía mucho temor. Incluso durante la Operación Orión, que nos resguardaban debajo de la cama para que no saliéramos de nuestras casas mientras pasaba esta Operación Orión, que fue la operación más grande que nos ha sucedido a nosotros, incluso a Colombia en la zona urbana. Entonces fue algo bastante grande, algo que nos dejó muy marcados, incluso a nosotros como en ese tiempo éramos niños ahorita, a nuestras mamás, nuestras familias. Todo el tiempo recordamos como parte de esa operación, pero de una manera como un poco negativa, ¿sí? Porque no se socializó por ningún medio de comunicación, nunca nos enteramos, simplemente se prestó esa operación, varios días en esta operación y no podíamos salir de nuestras casas.
¿Cómo está la vida acá hoy y qué son sus deseos por el futuro de la Comuna 13?
Bueno, ahorita estamos viendo el mejor tiempo, el tiempo gozoso, donde podemos disfrutar de lo que sabemos hacer. Ahorita hay un mundo de color, de sonrisas, de música, baile, donde ese ha sido como el medio de inspiración incluso para muchos. Ahorita se reconoce la Comuna 13 no por esa historia negativa, por la Operación Orión, sino que por lo contrario, se conoce por un territorio de artistas. Ahorita cada que alguien necesita un proyecto de arte, sea cualquier tipo de arte, muchas veces viene a la Comuna 13 a buscar a esos personajes que han sido como esos líderes positivos e inspiradores para su comunidad, y saber que hay unas nuevas generaciones que se están impulsando por todo este tipo de cosas y que también quieren llegar en algún momento a ser los mejores grafiteros, los mejores bailarines, los mejores cantantes, Y eso es a lo que le estamos apostando, ¿sí? Y en nuestro futuro queremos que todo esto se sostenga, ¿sí? Que esas generaciones que ahorita están saliendo nos puedan representar más adelante de la mejor manera, que no sea solamente como acá en Independencia es uno, sino que sea a nivel nacional y que esto se vaya multiplicando a nivel mundial también, porque es que sabemos que en otras partes del mundo también han pasado por todo esto y como un proyecto de movilidad que son las escalas eléctricas con un proyecto social, con la integración de los artistas, pueden cambiar todo un espacio, todo un territorio y le pueden dar una transformación. Entonces, eso es para multiplicarse a nivel mundial.
Muchas gracias, señor. Muchas gracias.
At the end of 2011 is when those escalators right here first opened to the public. Ever since, Comuna 13 has been changing for the better. And one of the main reasons for that is that the poor neighborhood up the hill is now connected to the more wealthy part of Comuna 13 down the hill. People nowadays don't have to climb thousands of stairs anymore to get from one place to the other. They are no longer being treated as outlaws and have much better opportunities to find a real job instead of getting into some criminal activities. Since the escalators that have cost a staggering amount of $6.7 million have been installed, there has been a massive decrease in violence and death around here. Pretty good price for all the saved lives, don't you think?
Nowadays, Comuna 13 is mostly known for its great street artists, including dancers, singers and the graffiti artists themselves. But to the people of Comuna 13, the graffitis are much more than just art. They are a very personal way of dealing with the horrific past and also a way to express their hope for a better and brighter future. Let's take this graffiti as an example. Here you can see the government's hand throwing the dice in Comuna 13 with the dates of Operación Orion, meaning that they are literally playing with the lives of the people living here, which is why this lady representing Comuna 13 is also crying. But in her eye, the color green is to represent the hope for a better future for the people living here. And in the other eye, you can also see the colors of the Colombian flag. And by the way, this graffiti and many other famous graffitis around in this area are from the exact same artist we have just interviewed earlier today.
As we were making our way back to the metro station, we once again came across the soccer field located right in between the houses and saw some local kids playing there. When we started to fly our drone from their soccer field, they were absolutely loving it. They started surrounding us, laying their arm around me to be able to see the screen better, and even wanted to take some photos with the drone themselves. Of course, we also couldn't resist to play some soccer with them afterwards. This reminded us of how important a safe upbringing for a child really is, and made us feel very happy about the fact that those kids can live a relatively peaceful life today. We deeply hope that the future of Comuna 13 will be just as bright as those kids' eyes when they were playing with our drone. We'll see you in the next one.